then it can be kind of it can be rewarding in some ways. By hanging in there, you gotta just hang in there if possible, guys. I recommend, even if life kind of sucks at times, or the process of making art and all that, just kind of hang in there if you can and stick with it. But if you need to take a break, guys, take a break. By all means, take a break. It can be good too. That sometimes, I don't know if that did any good, but you need to sometimes take a break, I guess. Save it sometimes. The process that we're doing, that you're doing. Maybe you do need to just breathe and go for a walk. That can be probably maybe your best move too at times, is to just take that another jaunt away from the daily battle that you're finding in the making of stuff, if that's what you're finding.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Good Art the Podcast. This is your host, K. Gerard. My guest this week is Mr. Let's Paint TV, John Kilduff. You may know him from his YouTube channel, Let's Paint TV, or his public access days. We go over his roots, where he got started, where he is now, some new ideas he has coming up. Hope you enjoy it. Check out his YouTube channel. John?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Hey, it's yeah, I hear you. I was just pausing a little too long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't know how to respond, so I just waited too long.
Oh, that's
dead air.
Yeah,
There's
that's
a little dead air. Yeah.
How are you?
Okay. Also, I'm trying to figure out how to talk to you because I don't have the mic in front of me. I'm just talking to the computer,
Sure. Yeah. You sound pretty good.
Okay. And I got some headphones, so it's kind of confusing, but.
Well, did you do your show today?
No. I haven't been doing my show that regularly. That I've had for years, like around 11 a.m. in the morning. Had been doing that for a long time, but I kind of stopped doing it because it just didn't have the. It's hard to keep going, when there's not much. I don't know, a combination of lack of interest from both sides.
Sure, I get it. Yeah.
Me and the viewers.
Sure. You've been doing it for so long, I'm sure it's hard to keep going every single, 5 days a week.
Yeah. Well, it would be a little easier maybe if there were people pushing you. And so there are not really anybody pushing me, so it's it's easier to take a break.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I understand.
I have been doing some. I did a little kind of show last night, more in the afternoon, 4 o'clock till around maybe 7 or 8. So, been kind of doing shows around that time lately.
Yeah, doing your. Did you do the Face app thing?
Yeah, I've been doing that lately. I'm kind of running out of that idea. I got another idea I'm gonna try to do.
Cool.
Just kind of running through lots of ideas and see what sticks or doesn't. Doesn't really matter.
Right. Yeah. I feel like that's kind of the ethos of the show, right?
It could be. It is at times. Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to start with. I was reading your Wikipedia page and saw that you came up with the idea for this show while waiting for a Saddam Hussein impersonator.
Well, the concept, say, of introducing the another element besides just painting, AE, the treadmill. Yeah, though it wasn't originally a treadmill, it was actually an exercise bike. Yeah, this person was showing up late, and so I had to film. And I had I had a previous show, a cable access show called the Jim Barry Show, where I did more skits of sorts, and one of the many skits that I did was sort of like an exercise show. And so in the cable access studios, they still had the leftover exercise bike that for some reason they didn't throw away or I didn't take or anything. So I just decided to incorporate that into the painting show. And I think the guy finally showed up. The rest is history, as they say.
Indeed. And were you making food then, or was it just, the exercise bike and painting?
Right. Yeah, I think originally it was just the exercise bike at first, but it quickly and then it was the treadmill right away, because the exercise bike really is limiting in terms of lateral movements and just less lack of freedom, really, because you're just sitting on your butt. But quickly I started to get into the another element, the cooking element.
I've seen, because I've been watching you probably since 2006, maybe 2007 is when I first discovered you, and I know that was getting towards the end of the public access stuff.
Right.
But I have seen you posted some of the Jim Barry stuff a couple years ago.
Yes.
And that was your like a sketch show more. I know you posted a couple shopping channel clips.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing the Jim Barry show from I think the first one was in '95, and then it kind of went all the way up to 2001, and I might have did it a few more times after that, but then that's when I started doing the Let's Paint TV. So yeah, I did. So I did a lot of those shows, and they're not of them. Hardly any of them were on the internet.
Did you feel like sketch comedy was limiting, or was it, more demanding of you, or what made you switch to sort of the?
Yeah, it wasn't. I enjoyed doing it, and what I found is that I was in a position where I was ending up having to do the shows ultimately by myself more times than not, and so I never really had a group of friends that were consistently long, to stay with me long enough to make a good run at it, with any kind of sketch comedy stuff. But I did take some class. I took a class at the Groundlings, so I took another improv class at the City College, and so I did dabble into the idea of being a performer, I guess, entertainment wise. But anyway, so you just sort of a combination of things. Kind of, you realize that you run through ideas. You run through different ideas, and so the idea. I am a painter by trade, if you will, and so it was just sort of a natural progression to maybe try a painting show.
Sure, I know it's difficult when, especially doing public access, you're not bringing in funds, and unfortunately funds kind of are what fuel people sticking around and helping out,
Yeah, and then also, who are your friends? Are they actually funny?
Right.
That's a whole other can of worms. you know. And am I funny? You know.
Well, I think all of your subscribers think you're funny.
Well, it's very kind of them, but I mean, I must say I have to be somewhat funny at times, but not all the time. I can't say I couldn't believe that I'd be fun. I'm funny all the time. No.
So
like right now,
like
I'm not that funny. No, but you laugh.
Yeah. Well, you know, a little self-flagellation is always funny.
Yeah, it does. I do play into that a little bit. Yeah.
You know, I guess we don't necessarily need to talk about how public access died, and then you know everything moved to the internet, because I think that's relatively self-explanatory. So the Art Basel thing.
Yeah.
Are you going to do that again this year?
I tend to side on the idea of no, I'm not. But you know, people keep asking me if I am. So I'm not saying I am or I'm not. I usually, when I had done it, I've done it 3 times, and I always just sort of announce it about maybe at the most a month ahead of time. And so I don't know. I'm not so sure I will. I kind of think I don't want to.
Would you mind sort of explaining what your version of Art Basel is?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, it was just I like to, I'm always, probably something I got from my dad, but I've always enjoyed, I don't know, puns or idioms, and, you know, just play on words. And so, you know, there's a whole phenomenon, in particular in Miami, around the first week of December every year, and it's called Art Basel, after the city in Switzerland, which there's also an Art Basel there. But I think the more popular one is the one in Miami, because it's, you know, a little more sexier, if you will. And so anyway, a lot of artists, it's like a sort of like a Mecca or something, you know, the Holy Grail, to go there and participate in it. And so I've always sat on the outside looking in, going, what is this? I don't care, you know, screw that. And so then the word Basel and then Basel is always coming up with my thinking, and the plant, the basil plant. And so I just as a joke, I made an art fair in my backyard with about a couple of little basil plants from like Home Depot, and put them in my backyard, and then made little walls out of this corrugated plastic material, also from Home Depot. It's like cardboard, but it's plastic. Anyway, it's white. You can make a really nice wall out of it. Anyway, so I made like little 12-inch square plots that went about 10 inches high. And then I invited everybody to have their own gallery, you know, so that in an effect created my own art fair. And I charged $50, though if you didn't have the money, you know, pay what you wanted. And compared to the Art Basel in Miami, the going rate at the time is $50,000. So my fair was you know, quite a deal, you know. Yeah, so people liked it, and it was quite a sort of a social get together of sorts. And so yeah, it was actually quite fun. A lot of though the organization of it is a little much for what I would want to have to, you know, because, you know, I'm a host, you know. And so no one complained about my duties as a host or nothing. It's just, you know, I don't know if I want to go through it again.
So your viewers sent tiny little pieces of art basically.
Yeah. And then also a lot of people would just come by, and so people sent from all over the world their gallery space, and then also quite a few people locally would come by and set up their art fair booth in a little 12-inch square thing, and it's on the dirt, and so I made no apologies or conditions where it could rain. There was a windstorm one time. Big fire. It didn't affect us, but the smoke from the fire was pretty annoying, alarming, if you will. And there's squirrels and rats and cats running around. So there's a chance your work would get damaged, is what I.
Sure.
Yeah.
How about Kilduff Motors?
It sort of came about sort of after I did the fast food project, where I created a fast food restaurant offering paintings of fast food at fast food prices, and I was fortunate to meet up with an artist friend who had the most, he kind of inherited for a short couple of years this storefront in downtown LA with wonderful windows. It was on the corner of 9th and Broadway, kind of by the Ace Hotel, about a block away actually. And so it was a gorgeous space, and it was empty, and it was sitting there empty, and so the owners allowed this guy to Higgins is his name. And anyway, so he was allowed to run an artist space, and so he kind of let me have fun at pretty much. I think I did 3 shows there. So anyway, the first show was a fast food franchise where out of cardboard I made tables out of cardboard, and I made the display, and then behind there I made then like a chef or a cook. I was serving up, making these freshly painted paintings of fast food products for people as they came in. Anyway, so that project came and went, and then it was like, well, I don't know, maybe you want to try to do something else, was sort of the idea. And so I don't know where I got the idea of doing the car, producing, manufacturing ultimately these cardboard cars, life-size cars out of cardboard. And so we did. I was able to get some funds from people to build, buy the cardboard. Really wasn't, cardboard's not that expensive. But anyway, we set about, and along with a few people, we were able to kind of a group effort, and we created this like a car sales showroom there. And so we made videos and then tried to sell these cars there. We didn't actually sell any of them, but
oh no! How many did you make though?
There was 3, as I recall, and
they were life size.
Yeah, life size. I mean, there was no engine in them.
Yeah,
but they were life size, and people came in, and they kicked the bumpers. They thought about it. We just couldn't quite get anyone to buy any of them. We were selling them at the same price as a car is sold for. More of an entry model car, $18,000 I believe was $899 I think was the price for the K car.
How suiting.
Yes, the K car. You remember the K car from Chrysler had the K car.
Yes, I drove a Mercury knockoff of the Zephyr.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Wow. I barely remember that one.
Yeah, what? And you did another show there, right?
I also just I think the other one that I had done, the Blackstone Gallery was the name of the gallery.
Right.
The other one I did was just sort of a little kind of like a little retrospective of all the Let's Paint TV paintings that I had done through the cable access shows, and also just streaming that, the shows that I streamed. So I just salon styled all the paintings up on the wall, and then also we had people come in and we did live performances.
Do you have like a warehouse, or is like your house just like full?
It's just a garage, and I did get another shed to put more stuff in, just so that I can breathe,
Sure. I remember, I think this was years ago, you did like a massive unloading on eBay. And I remember one of the things you were selling was like a massive globe.
Yeah, that's still available. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You never got rid of that.
Never got rid of it. Yeah. Yeah, I still got it. I mean, it's one of those things where you go, boy, I probably should just throw this thing away, because sculptures, they take up so much room, but for some reason I'm still holding on to that thing. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, when the John Kilduff Museum opens up,
Man, I don't know. That's though I do suspect that there has some value, so I guess I haven't thrown it away. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. What is that made of?
It's I made that in 1989, and it's sort of an interesting time in history because of the fall of the Berlin Wall, and then also China kind of almost falling in the sense, and I think there was something else going on then. Anyway, I made this globe out of wood. It was an armature. Kind of a skeleton armature of wood, and then I stretched canvas over it. But also I made axles from two bicycle wheel axles were also used to so that you can spin the globe. So it actually was a functioning globe, and it spun two different directions.
Maybe donate it to a local school.
Yeah, it's pretty trashy, and and it's also somewhat dangerous because you don't want it to maybe fall on anyone.
Sure.
Yeah, I think ultimately you'd have to, if it ever made it into any kind of museum, they would have to put a like a rope around it or something.
Talk about inside the box, because when I decided to email you last week, that was something I returned to for whatever reason. I think it's one of like it's just so simple, but also so absurd.
Yeah, it was well, because everyone's. It was a combination again of, well, it's outside. Everybody think outside the box, think outside the box. And it just occurred to me, why don't we just put a box over my head and cut some slats out and then paint from inside the box. And so that was the idea.
Yeah.
And I made a couple of videos. I don't know if you saw some of those. They're on YouTube. And also I ended up doing a show in Chicago at an artist space, Julius Caesar Gallery, I believe is the name. And so I did the performance there. And when you do performances, sometimes I was talking to somebody yesterday about that. You do these performances and you don't really hear much response from people like, well, what, was that any good or was it bad? It was just a lot of meh, that emoji. It's just, it almost seems like no one was somewhat indifferent to the project or whatever you were doing. So, but it's interesting that you remembered that, because I didn't really go much further with the idea,
Right.
But that's
right.
good, it's good to not have to keep going, you said what you needed to say or whatever,
Yeah.
There's not much you can do to it. So.
Do you feel like the audience, like art audience or performance audience, has changed over your sort of path, your career?
I mean, I can't really talk so much about the sort of the art, contemporary art aspects of what I've been doing as an artist, only because even though I'm educated and I went to school for it and all, I don't really follow that stuff, and because I don't think I ever really felt like I'm part of it, and I think I'm just sort of in between these various disciplines, and just doing my own thing, a little bit of an outsider, I guess. And so, yeah, I couldn't tell you if there's any kind of change or compared to what was done, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. To me, it seems the same, really.
I respect that answer,
Yeah, I honestly, it just seems the same to me. It's a combination of boring, the art, performance art is generally pretty boring, or it can be very shocking, and and somewhere in between, and then maybe mix in some various I don't know, politics of whatever seems appropriate at the time. I don't know.
Yeah. You don't
I
really
tend to
touch
go
politics.
for the funny. I'd rather see people laugh, or at least maybe, not always, but, and I don't think there's much of that in art anyway. The humor, it's humor in art seems to be usually too over thought out, too laden down with the ideas, and so I don't think the delivery is ever terribly funny. But that's just my thoughts. But there are some good examples of some funny art out there for sure. So.
Yeah. One thing I've always really appreciated about your YouTube channel is kind of when you step off of the treadmill, put down your paints, and pick up a guitar, take your shirt off, and then play in front of the green screen. Or like recently you made like a DIY air conditioner.
Oh yeah. I really like that one.
Or like
But yeah, just making, I'm just playing into making, the idea of sort of making a viral video or making videos, they're very popular. Those kind of videos are popular, and maybe just sort of making my own attempt at making these videos, I don't know if that's art or anything like that. I'm just, again, maybe just sort of having fun with it, with the medium and the process.
Yeah, you haven't played the guitar in a while.
I haven't. You know what I did is, I haven't been to, but what I did is I cut my guitar cable and tried to make one of those sensor node things. Those. Where you place it on a table, and then you hit the table and it makes a sound. I don't know what you call
like
it.
A contact microphone, I believe.
Yeah, so I tried, so I did a little electronic work, and then so by doing that, I sort of disconnected my my guitar, and so subsequently I haven't gone back to it. And plus, my guitar strings are all screwed up, and yeah, I haven't done it. But I did pick up a little keyboard that a USB you plug into the computer, a keyboard. So I've been making some noise with that lately. So that's been fun. In fact, I do have a new idea. It's actually an idea that I have worked with before, but I'm going to try to incorporate that in some video pieces.
Is that where like the mask dance came from? Maybe.
Yeah. I made that. Well, of course, I made the mask, and that sort of was inspired by. I was watching one night Anthony Bourdain travel to Japan, and he was graced with a kabuki dance, while he was drinking sake or something. And I just thought it was a beautiful scene of the mask dance that they do. So I made my own little mask, and I did my little dance. But how I created that dance was a combination of a few layers, where I believe this is how I did it. You listen to music that gets you excited, and but with YouTube, they don't let you play that music without copyright infringement.
Mm-hmm.
So you really are like, well, that sucks, So what I did is, and I sometimes I tend to find my inspiration in terms of music from one of my favorite radio stations, WFMU, out of New York, Jersey City.
Right.
And so they'll have some DJs come on, play some really fun music, and you can dance to it. So I will record myself dancing to that music, but then I come back in and I will replay the video without the sound, and then with my keyboard I play the sounds to what I'm dancing, to how my movement of my dance. So it's sort of a once removed, disjointed kind of approach. But I find I think that's exciting. It's an exciting and it doesn't always work, but it's kind of it's fun. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like I was thinking, like, you ever go see a movie that has like a live band doing the soundtrack?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Silent movies, they play the accompaniment with the organ or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but or better yet, maybe some more updated version. Yeah.
I have a question here. Do you plan ahead or just let the ideas take you where they will? And it seems like it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit of both. I tend to write a bunch of ideas down here and there, and then do I act on those ideas? Not necessarily. And then on top of it, I just jump in and maybe continue on what I've been doing or not. So yeah, spur of the moment, I really enjoy. It's pretty exciting. I find that sometimes if you do have a plan that you sort of map out, it becomes a little too just again too overworked. Maybe the idea of overworked or something. There's you lose that spontaneity sometimes.
Right. Yeah. The sometimes just going in raw is the best way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't say that that's always the best route, and I'm still trying to figure that out. What works best for me, and maybe in that sense that's how that's just the way I operate. It's a little bit all over the board and stuff.
Yeah. you did an interview with Vice a few years ago.
Yes.
They opened that article with your shaving, biking, and painting clip.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that the only one of those up? Or have you shaved and painted and rode your bike before?
Yeah, I think I only did that maybe the one. I might have done it twice, the bicycle shaving gig a bit. Only because you do something like that once and you just go, well, I can't just do that again. So you just sort of try another idea or try something different. Yeah.
Yeah. That one seemed especially perilous to me. Although you had a nice stretch of pretty straight, flat sidewalk.
Yeah. Yeah, I did I did a number of those videos, mostly, bicycle painting things, and I've been meaning to go back to doing some more, I suppose, but I only crashed one time, and it was because there was like a cyclone fence next to the bike path, and for some reason that just was calling my name. It was just too close, and I just went right into it, and I got I crashed, and I was really lucky I didn't hurt myself, other than just a little, I don't know, scrape or something. Nothing bad happened. So
yeah,
but I try to be careful. When I do these sort of haphazard, whatever you want to call it.
Stunts? I don't know. Stunts? Are they stunts or
something?
Feats? Feats is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you still wanna try and get to space?
I'm sorry?
Do you still want to try to get to space?
Oh yeah, to outer space, to the moon. Yeah. I think, yes and no. I don't really want to be, claustrophobic, be put in a claustrophobic situation on a space ship. I don't really want to go through that. I don't want to go through all the processes just to get ready for that, and then to actually go up there. I don't really want to do that. I just want to, open the door and then be in space.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to go through all the trouble.
Yeah. Just teleport me. Beam me up.
Yeah. Then I'm good for that. And give me a panic button so I could get the hell out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could handle that, but that's probably.
Well, it's you got to get out of the house sometimes. You can't be agoraphobic or whatever with everything. You're just gonna, we got to adapt.
Do you have any installations or events coming up?
I can't really say I do. Occasionally I get asked to do stuff, and then that doesn't really pan out. Those things are coming. Those kind of come and go. I got, like I have a couple of paintings and a little group show, stuff like that. There's a chance. I did something for this TV show that could be aired, or it might not. So, but yeah, other than that, no, nothing. I got nothing planned really.
Yeah.
Except for just doing some more of my sort of projects in the studio, if you will. And so I just do them. And that keeps me busy, keeps me happy, sane to do that. So as much as I would like to maybe have a big project coming up or collaborate with I can't let it stop me and just not do anything. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going, At least I'm telling you that now. I don't know if that's always the case.
I imagine you're a pretty fit guy, right?
I kind of slacked off, but I think I could probably get back into shape pretty easily. I think, I suspect. Yeah, I'm probably a few pounds overweight though. I got a little belly going on now.
Yeah.
But I haven't been running on my treadmill much, so that's probably the reason.
Yeah, I noticed that those Peloton things. Those are, I like that you. I mean, I assume that was tongue in cheek, and I actually got a Peloton commercial at the beginning of one of those clips too.
Yeah, you got one of the commercials airing before my video. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna do more of those, and I want to, and then I don't know. I just haven't done them.
Yeah.
I did 3 or 4 of them. So I actually had I had a band come by, an old friend, Bernard, came by with his band, and we blasted away, and then I'm on the bicycle, and that was fun. Pretty chaotic and stuff.
Chaos is fun. Controlled chaos is great.
I think so.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna start to wrap up here.
Sure.
But I'm curious, in all your years of doing this, what do you have, like a moment that really sticks out, that like a real fun memory? I don't know, one of the music videos you did, or installations, or.
Well, I mean, I think there's these sort of aha moments, that happen that maybe it's through a combination of the collaboration, obviously, usually, but it doesn't have to be. It's just you have these moments, and I think one time that was kind of exciting for me. I think too, there's these times where they sort of open up a little door that you didn't know you had in you. And so I was asked to come to this festival up in Ontario. It's called the Electric Eclectic Festival. I always mix it up. It could be Eclectic Electrics. No, it's Electric Eclectic Festival. It's in Meaford, Ontario. It's an outdoor festival, and it's sort of an experimental music kind of venue. And a lot of interesting artists, will go there and perform and actually, so anyway, I'm there on my treadmill, and we had a live band play backing me up, and I took questions from the audience about what I usually would do about multitasking and just sort of absurd, try to answer stuff like that maybe. And someone threw out, can you sing Hey Jude from the Beatles? And so then the band proceed to play Hey Jude, and then I then proceeded to make up my own words for that song. And I was just that kind of moment of the serendipity, and I don't necessarily, that's not something that I'm always doing, just singing. And if I do, I obviously make stuff up and have fun with it. But anyway, it was just fun to just do that all of a sudden, spur of the moment kind of thing. That was kind of, I don't know, it just felt good,
Did you
feel good sometimes when you do stuff like that.
Yeah. Did you get the sing along?
I believe there were some people singing along. There's actually a video of it on YouTube. You could look it up.
I'll check that out.
Check it out. I'll have to too. I forget.
Do you want to end on anything? Do you want to tell the people that are listening to this little podcast of mine anything?
Hang in there, keep going, persevere, I guess. I'll tell you what, I realize I have to listen to sort of my, if you will, alter ego of being Mr. Let's Paint, in my own regular life. I have to listen to this guy because I kind of, I don't always follow through with sort of the what the sort of TV persona is putting forth, in my real life. So I don't know, just keep going and keep making art and paint till you die. You can join the club. I got little lapel pens you can get. Paint till you die club pens.
Oh yeah,
pins.
I saw those.
Yeah.
Do you still have any T-shirts left? You still have
T-shirts?
Yeah, on your
I
website?
make those the Embrace Failure T-shirts.
Yeah.
And I have those. They're made to order, so you just order a size, and then I hand paint it.
Sure.
With some silk screen, paint, and they're good to go. So you can find that on my website, Let's Paint TV.
Yeah, and your YouTube channel, Let's Paint TV.
Yeah, I definitely branded that sort of somewhat.
Yeah.
Half-ass.
Legally? Not legally.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't trademark it, no.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. About half-assed. Yeah. All right, Mr. Let's Paint TV, John Kilduff.
Yeah, good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks for chatting.